Welcome back to the Bitter to Better podcast. Today, I am talking about the fact that you've probably made progress in your dating. And I say this because I'd like to point out the small and large ways that progress is shown in the dating process. And I know that dating can be nerve wracking, it can be hard, it can be frustrating, it can be exhausting, it can be disappointing. It can also be fun, interesting, entertaining, eye-opening, educational, all of these things. And I think it's important to recognize the ways in which you may be making progress on your dating journey and ways in which you will be able to make progress and not seeing progress only as the end result of finding a partner. Because with anything, with any process, which means it's something that has to be done over time in steps, right? Rather than an event that just happens quickly. With any process in which you have a goal, it is highly motivating to acknowledge the progress that's being made and can be highly discouraging to not acknowledge the small ways in which progress has been made. Think about it on a fitness journey, a health journey, a money or financial journey, career journey, you name it, hair growth journey, skincare. I can go on and on and on. But if you're not acknowledging the small wins, the little bit of growth, the small amount of, muscle gained or weight loss or, money secured, whatever, then it can be really discouraging to keep going. So I just want to talk today about the ways in which you have or could be making progress on your dating journey. Before I get all the way into that, if you haven't already seen um, a uh, a snippet before the start of this episode about my ongoing Date Better as a Mom webinars, I would like to take this time to remind you of them. You can click the link in the show notes in order to register. This is a webinar that I put on an ongoing basis for moms who are interested in really getting into either starting or improving their dating journey and doing it in an empowered way. And it's a great intro into working with me in the Date Better program, which at the time of this recording, we are in the last week of this first cohort that I launched. And I'm thinking I'm going to launch another cohort sometime in April. Just haven't decided if it's going to start before my wedding or after. So I'm going to figure that all out. But I'm looking forward to doing like a springtime cohort. So definitely get into this webinar in the meantime if you're at all interested. All right, so let's get into the fact or the ways in which you have made dating progress. Let's start with doing anything differently than you had been before. So that can be a number of things that I'm going to talk about. How about just even looking into dating resources like this podcast or my webinar or dating coaches like myself or matchmakers? I just did a Mom Moments episode with Jill Dunn, who is a matchmaker and mom, and that's episode 60. So definitely worth a listen if you've ever considered matchmaking or anything like that. Um, but just looking to improve your dating life, dating skills, dating prospects, that's progress. If you hadn't been doing any of that before, but you've been wanting to find a partner or been wanting to date, and now you're looking into those resources, that's progress. Also, progress is creating a dating profile. Just going on an app and actually creating the profile is progress. But even better is using the profile and using it well, which I talk about in other episodes. I may link them here in the show notes, but actually effectively using the dating app. So that means doing more than just having a profile there and hoping that the man for you comes your way, and instead going on and being consistently active on the app. That means liking profiles, DMing some guys, having some basic conversation with them in DMs, providing your phone number so you guys can talk via text or phone or FaceTime, saying yes to a date when it's offered. But also, another sign of progress is going out and meeting guys. So, going to a bar, a networking event, a play date with single dads when you find those. Yes. Going out with friends, but then being willing to engage with the guy just for talking, just for chatting, just for practice. I can't stress that one enough because in practicing engaging with one, just other people, strangers, but two, guys in particular, it helps you practice, or it helps to take off some of the pressure of engaging with guys for dates and romantic purposes. Just, honing that skill of bringing up conversation or giving guys threads to pull at. So what I mean is somebody might ask a question. A guy might ask, "Oh, where are you from?" And rather than just saying where you're from and letting that be the end, saying where you're from and asking where he's from. "Oh, how long have you lived there? Did you grow up there?" And starting to like have this exchange of conversation in which you are giving responses that allows a person to pull from those responses and doesn't just shut the conversation down. And a lot of that can be done by you asking a question back of the person. But yeah, just going out and engaging with guys, that's progress if you've been doing that. Saying yes to dates is progress. Like it's offered, and rather than you being like, "Oh no, I can't, the kids," or "I don't know what I'm doing," or any of that, being like, "You know what? Yeah, I'd like to make that work. Let me look into that." Going on the date, that's another one. People be saying yes to dates and then they find ways to ease on out of them. Go on the date. And I talk about, lowering your first date standards. There's only four things that you need to adhere to say yes to a first date. Are you attracted enough to the person? Do you feel safe with the person? Have they not offended you and have they not turned you off significantly with something? If those are all in check, go on the first date because the only thing you need to be doing on a first date is deciding if you want a second date. Do I want to see this person again? Do I want to see them, spend time with them, hang out with them again? And you do that date after date. What else is progress? Let's see. Let me look at my notes. um, you no longer crash out or get discouraged after a disappointing date or interaction. I want to be clear. You are human, you're going to have feelings. You might be disappointed or frustrated with some of your experiences with date. Not you might. You are highly likely to. I'll be surprised if you don't. But you not letting that discourage you from continuing to date, continuing to use the app, continuing to go out, continuing to engage in guys, continuing to have hope, continuing to think of uh dating as a viable option, those are signs of progress because maybe in the past you have, one of the biggest things is immediately take yourself out of the app after a stupid interaction with somebody. You're going to have those. You're not going to just have them on the apps. You're going to have them in person too. So, huge progress is you not going straight to, "I'm mad or frustrated or discouraged or disappointed from this interaction I had with this guy. So I'm just shutting it all off." Don't let their stupidity shut you out from opportunities and options and progress. So, you continuing to stay the course is a great sign of progress in your dating journey. Um, Not spending as much of your time trying to understand a guy's action. So what I mean by this is something happens, he ghosts you or he doesn't ask for another date or his frequency, his cadence of communicating, texting, reaching out slows down, all of that stuff. It's understandable to wonder why. And sure, give some time to be like, "I wonder what happened. Is he okay? Did some interaction happen between us?" Sure, call him or text him to ask what's going on, once, absolutely understandable. But outside of that, not going into all of this like analyzing of why what might have happened, which way it went. And I want to be clear, but obviously a lot of it depends on how long you've known the person and been dating them and the extent of your relationship. But ultimately, regardless of whether you've gone on one date with this guy or whether you've gone on many, a person's actions are what you ultimately need. So, as much as it is fair for you to wonder and even reach out and ask what has happened, the reality is it has happened. He has ghosted or distanced or something like that for whatever reasons he has. And you do not want that taking up wondering about that and trying to figure it out. You don't want that taking too much of your time and energy. You want to still be out there casually dating. You want to still be having other guys who you're interacting with and not sitting here being like, "But yeah, and what if," there are conversations that I'll have with women where, like, we're going on and on and on about this particular guy's actions, and not because it's not completely fair to wonder what the heck went on, what the heck happened, but give some time to that and then let the rest go, because you may never know the answer to that. And ultimately, the thing you need to know most is that this person did this to you. This is how they behaved towards you, because oftentimes a number of those people come back around and you need to be prepared for what you do about that because like Is this something that might happen again? Is this a relationship that I want to continue to build after this has happened? Like, what do I do with that? And so ultimately, oftentimes this is a situation of a guy vetting himself out of your dating pool rather than you having to do it. So a sign of progress in dating can be the fact that you find yourself not spending as much time and energy trying to analyze the actions of guys who don't behave well, and you are continuing to engage with the ones that do. Okay. um yeah, I think those are, I mean, the last one being, like, not letting the disappointment of dating just completely have you, like, swear off dating completely. So it's a little bit of the previous one that I mentioned of it not discouraging you, but also making sure that you are not just completely giving up on interacting with guys and going out and meeting guys because of your disappointing experiences. That is an important one. That's actually a huge sign of dating progress because that is a very easy one to do. That is one that many women, particularly moms who have a lot going on, do, which is like, I'm not going to bother with the dating process. And I'm just here to say that, yeah, I don't think you should be consumed by the dating process, but you might as well be engaging in the dating process alongside all of the other things that you have going on in your life. Um, because that is how you are going to increase the likelihood of finding partners that are a good fit for you. All right. So I just want you to know that you may be making more progress than you realize. And I'm sure there are a number of other things that I haven't mentioned that could be signs of progress in dating. Happy to hear your thoughts. You can share in the YouTube comments, signs of dating, whether it's been things that you have experienced or just thoughts that come to mind for you that can be signs of dating, or even goals that you have to indicate to yourself that you have made dating progress. All right, that's all for today.